Hi. On my previous video, I talked about self-love. And if you happen to hear that video or watch that video rather, you heard the question, how well do you love yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being great, 1 being terrible? And how you answer that question is really going to determine the direction your life is going. People who don't love themselves very well don't tend to make decisions that move their lives closer to their dreams and their goals. They often get stuck in behaviors trying to fill an emptiness inside because when you don't love yourself, there's a void inside. And we tend to try to fill voids within with things like food, social media, relationships, alcohol, drugs, distraction, busyness, you name it. We can fill it with just about anything. But what you find is that it leaves you feeling just as empty. When we don't love ourselves well, we are looking for fixes. And these are fixes that don't really create health and vitality and change. So the question, how well you love yourself, is so important because you won't get to your dreams without it. Now, some people think it's kind of a vain question to ask, do you love yourself? But the reality is, even from a Christian perspective, there is a scripture that says, love your neighbor as yourself. We can love other people pretty well, but are we loving them for the right motives? Is it because we're trying to fill an empty need within ourselves? Or is that love that we're extending to our neighbor really a reflection of the love we have for ourselves? Because that love is more selfless then, because we're not giving it in order to receive something. We're giving it purely out of the motivation to pass on love to somebody else. So again, I think most of us probably could stand improvement in self-love because I would suggest that I know when I listen to myself, I have a self-critic that sometimes can be pretty darn hard on me, especially when I don't meet my own expectations or standards. So every day I'm challenged to look for the good in myself as I continue to, of course, want to improve areas that need that work. So here's a strategy that I'm going to offer to you to help you move yourself up on the self-love meter. What I'm going to encourage you to do is, first of all, just start tuning into the story of where you might have started believing that you weren't very lovable. When in your life did you start thinking that there was something wrong with you or that you weren't acceptable the way you are? Many of us have memories of maybe words that were stated to us or experiences that we had that led us to believe that we aren't lovable. And at that point is when we began to not be a friend to ourselves perhaps, or we didn't know how to befriend ourselves. So today I'm going to encourage you to just start tuning into when in your life did you start believing you weren't lovable? And take a look at the messages from, it might go back to childhood, it might be something even in your adulthood, but where did those beliefs start to germinate? Where did they start to take hold in your life? And as you gain some awareness around that, then we can begin to develop some corrective messages around your lovability. So that's my invitation to you today, to start looking inward. Have a great day.